Hello and welcome to your natural breathing challenge. So many of you guys recommended that I do a video on nose breathing. So if you're finding it difficult to breathe in through your nose, whether when you breathe in through your nose it just doesn't feel satisfying and maybe has you feeling a little bit panicked, or you just find that breathing in through your nose doesn't feel quite right, whether it feels like you're not getting enough air in on one side or it's feeling more congested, then this video is for you. Today we are going to talk through 3 important things we need to consider to help improve your ability to breathe in through your nose. The first one is talking all about nose structure. The second one is talking about nose congestion, and the third one is nose disuse. So make sure you stick around for particularly the third phase of nose disuse, because if you don't use your nose, you lose your ability to breathe in through your nose. And we're going to go through a nose breathing practice, to help you start using it more. Okay. Just before we get into the first pillar, let's just ground ourselves with a little breathing pattern check-in, okay? So getting yourself seated and comfortable, or lying down and comfortable. I'm going to be sitting upright for today, but you can follow along throughout this video lying down if that feels better. Do what's best for you. Taking a reset breath with me, shoulders up, and melting the shoulders back down. Good. Placing one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Just letting the elbows go. And I just want you to observe what hand is moving as you breathe. Are you breathing in through your chest, upper chest, where your top arm and elbow is expanding out and forward, or are you breathing more from your bottom hand, where your bottom hand is moving more outwards? Maybe a bit of both. Are you breathing in through your nose, or are you breathing in through your mouth? Maybe do you mouth breathe when you're trying to yawn and get a good breath in, and you're feeling some signs of what we call air hunger, which is needing to yawn or sigh and take a catch-up breath. Good, let that go. Swallow, drop the shoulders. Well done. Swaying from side to side if that helps. Let your body go. Soften the face. Lovely. Letting your hands back down into a rested position. So normal breathing should ideally be in through the nose using the diaphragm. If you found that you were breathing into your upper chest more, or in through your mouth, whether you were breathing in through your mouth in general, or you were taking gulps of air through a yawn or a bigger catch-up breath, then this video is for you, because when we breathe in through our mouth, we're not utilizing the important properties of our nose. Nose breathing helps us connect into slow diaphragmatic breathing and calms our nervous system too, as well as it being a natural air conditioning unit and dehumidifying unit within our body. Mouth breathing, there's a connection between mouth breathing and upper chest breathing. So when we think about breathing well, if we're not breathing in through our nose, it's very hard to breathe well. That's why I wanted to touch on this again. So now you've got a bit of an understanding about how you're breathing, whether it's upper chest or diaphragm, nose or mouth. Now, the first thing, if you're finding it hard to breathe in through your nose, is to consider your nose structure. Together, what we're going to do is place both hands at the side of your nose. So taking a breath in through your nose first. Just noticing how that feels. Good, dropping the shoulders down. Lovely. Now when you're ready, placing both hands to the side of your nose, and you're going to flare your nose open, pressing in and out. Taking a breath in at your own time. Good. You'll notice that this facilitates airflow in through your nose. Dropping the shoulders. This is also called the Cottle maneuver, okay? If you found that this made a very significant difference in your ability to breathe in through your nose, and your nose feels more crowded and maybe a bit obstructed, then it's really important you get a personalized checkup for you, going to your doctor, your ear, nose and throat specialist, ENT specialist, and also seeing a breathing respiratory physio as well. Because we can get structural changes in our nose, such as crowdedness, obstruction, or deviated septum, and that just requires a different approach alongside breathing retraining. So once you've got that checked up, the Cottle maneuver, opening your nose out like this, can be a lovely way for you to practice your nose breathing in the meantime. Lovely. Another option would be using nasal strips. Now there are various brands of nasal strips out there, and I'm not going to name a particular brand today, but nasal strips, the concept of the nasal strips are similar to your nose flow, nose opening maneuver, where it's helping you open up your nose. If you're finding this really nice and helpful, then nasal strips might help you even more too. Amazing. Now if you're noticing you're feeling a little bit of air hunger, if you want to, you could bring your hands back down and practice your nose breathing. If you're noticing you're feeling a little bit of air hunger right now as you're trying to breathe in through your nose, if you don't use it, you lose it. So it's important to practice breathing in through your nose, and also getting clarity on if you do have any nose structure changes, which we've just covered. So making sure you've had that checked up on, okay? Now you might feel like your nose is congested, so it's feeling more stuffy. If that's the case, firstly, very important to go to your doctor as well to get a full checkup, and ENT specialists can be helpful too, alongside a breathing physio. But what can be helpful alongside and in the meantime is a salty nose wash. So a saline rinse is something that can naturally help to decongest the nasal cavity, which includes salt and salty water and bicarbonate, so like baking soda for example. So you can find various nasal solutions and nasal saline washes, and you can also make your own too. Another option as well when we've got a stuffy nose is steam inhalation. So you can boil some water, placing it within a bowl with some eucalyptus oil, or another form of oil and steam inhalation that feels nice for you, and then just softly placing a towel over your head as you breathe in the steam. If at any moment it starts to feel uncomfortable or a bit panicky, then please do what's best for you and listen to your body. But steam inhalation can be a lovely way to naturally decongest your nose alongside a salty nose wash and saline rinse. I see you. If you've got a stuffy nose, you are not alone. There are lots of things you can do alongside medicated nasal sprays. And it's important that we don't overuse medicated nasal sprays because they start to strip down the nasal lining and we can then become more dependent on them. So the third and final is nose disuse, which I touched on briefly just before. I'm going to guide you through a 3-minute nose practice where together we are going to practice breathing in through your nose. If you found that the nose flow helped significantly, please get that checked up upon. And you can also do your nose flow while we're practicing now, because breathing in through your nose is going to be a bit harder if there is a structural change in your nose. You need to get that looked up on, and in the meantime use your nose flow. For those of you who have had their nose structure checked up by the doctor or ENT specialist, then we're just going to practice doing nose breathing with or without the nose flow. So taking a moment to get yourself comfortable. Good. Doing this in sitting or lying down. And just letting go of any tension from the face, the eyebrows, the jaw. Letting the shoulders go. If we hold any tension in the face and the shoulders, it crowds and closes the nose. So let that go. Good. Now for 10 seconds, we are going to practice nose breathing in chunks. So just drawing awareness to your nose. Breathing in through your nose for 10 seconds. Quietly. If you're feeling some air hunger, swallow. It's normal as your body adapts to nose breathing. Good. And have a break. Purse lip breathing for me. Out through pursed lips like you're blowing out a candle. Good. If you need to sway to let the body go so it's not so rigid and tight as you're concentrating, then please join in with the sway with me. Well done. When we start to practice nose breathing, if you've been mouth breathing as a habit for a while, your body has gotten used to breathing in through a bigger area, a bigger hole. It's been used to over breathing and moving more air. When you start to learn to nose breathe, if you've had the nose structure and the nose congestion part of your nasal health improved and you're still finding it hard to nose breathe, it's actually a sign you need to practice. You need to practice nose breathing, which is what we're doing now, in little 10 to 30 second chunks regularly during your day. Swallow, breathe out, and melt. If you're feeling a little bit panicky with the air hunger breathing in through your nose, can you reassure yourself that the air hunger is your friend? It's not a threat. Your body is just adapting to the habit of nose breathing, which will notice a rise of air hunger. And that's improving your body's tolerance to nose breathing, your body's tolerance to slower breathing and more resistance. And your body's tolerance is improving to carbon dioxide, which naturally starts to stabilize as we breathe in through our nose and slowly. So we're going to move on to a 30-second nose breathing practice together to progress. I want you to focus on letting your body go, breathing quietly, and reassuring yourself that air hunger is your friend and not a threat. Okay, it's a sign you're adapting to nose breathing, and your brain is actually getting used to slow breathing and optimal carbon dioxide levels. So it's very safe. If you don't use it, you lose it. So let's keep practicing. The air hunger reduces and nose breathing gets more comfortable with practice. All right, when you're ready, 3, 2, 1. Practicing your nose breathing. Good. Breathing in through your nose. We're going for 30 seconds. If you need to soften the chest, can you breathe out through pursed lips? Good. It's okay to breathe out through pursed lips, out through your mouth sometimes. Then go back to your nose breathing. Lovely. Dropping the shoulders, reassuring yourself that air hunger is your friend, not a threat. 10 more seconds. Lovely. This air hunger is a sign that you're adapting. It improves with practice. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Good. It's okay to breathe out through pursed lips. Great. If you need to, do your nose flow if you're not already, then come back to it. Dropping the shoulders. And we've got one more round to finish. So we're going to be going for 40 seconds, practicing our nose breathing. If at any moment you need to go back to the nose flow during it, or if it really helps you breathing through your nose, maybe if there's a nose structure component that you're still looking into, then I'd recommend using this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. We're going for 40 seconds. Good. Can you let go of any tension from your body? Breathing in through the nose. And quietly, good. Reassuring yourself air hunger is your friend, not a threat. Good. Swallow if you need to. Particularly if you notice you need to take a big yawn or gulp. Lovely. Halfway. Can you slow it down as you breathe out? Swallow if you need to. Good. In quiet. Out through nose or pursed lips. Good. Beautiful. That was 40 seconds. Taking a moment here to just ground your body. If you need to come into your breather's reset, you can. Give yourself a big pat on the back for practicing your nose breathing. And I hope this gives some clarity onto the different aspects of nasal health, nose structure, making sure you get a personalized checkup, nose congestion, using a saline rinse or a steam inhalation for decongesting naturally, alongside seeing your local doctor and trusted healthcare professional. And the third part is nose disuse. So if you don't use it, you lose it. So now we are practicing, okay? So practicing in small bursts you can tolerate. As your nose breathing habit improves, you'll be able to tolerate breathing in through your nose for much longer. And before you know it, it will then be a habit. Practice, practice, practice. Remember, embrace that it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable at first as your body and your brain and your breathing center adapt to slow breathing. You can do this. I believe in you. And I can't wait to hear how you go. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, big or small, or If there's anything else you want to see for the breathing challenge, I love hearing recommendations. So please let me know what you want to see more of, okay? I will see you very soon. Bye.